Friday's drone strike that killed 2 ISIL-K members and wounded another was the first retaliatory strike against the group. But according to President Joe Biden, it won't be the last. It's unclear if those killed had a direct role in Thursday's airport attack that killed over 150 Afghans and over a dozen U.S. military personnel. The Pentagon won't release the names of the ISIL-K members they killed, only saying they were planning future attacks. While the U.S. and the Taliban are coordinating on airport security, that cooperation did not extend to the drone strike. A Taliban spokesperson told Reuters news agency they should have been informed before the airstrike took place. In a statement Saturday afternoon, Biden said the chance of another terrorist attack in the next 24 to 36 hours is very high.
The rushed evacuation from Kabul and U.S. troop casualties have further intensified political pressure on U.S. President Joe Biden. The Biden administration has been blamed for being caught unawares by the sudden and violent attack on Kabul airport, and the speed at which the Taliban was able to seize power from an elected U.S.-backed government. The deaths of 13 American soldiers in a suicide bomb attack at the Kabul airport have served as a big political setback to Biden amid a panic-stricken and botched evacuation attempt. And now, along with Joe Biden, U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken is also facing the heat. The calls for their resignations, as well as Biden's impeachment, are ever growing. Republicans want Biden to pay the political price for the crisis in Afghanistan.
About 350 migrants tried unsuccessfully on Saturday to cross the fence separating Morocco from the Spanish enclave of Melilla, a Spanish government official said. Spanish border police used a helicopter to disperse the migrants as they attempted to breach the border wall. Madrid said it was acting on a tip-off from Rabat. Another group of more than 300 people tried to enter Melilla on 20th August, but again none succeeded. The 2 tiny Spanish enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla have Europe's only land border with Africa, which is a major draw for migrants. In mid-May, Spain was caught off guard when more than 10,000 people tried to swim or use small boats to reach Ceuta, as Moroccan border police looked the other way.
But we begin tonight here at home with the urgent evacuations in Louisiana. Hurricane Ida expected to come ashore tomorrow, 16 years to the day after Hurricane Katrina. Millions in the danger zone, crowds packing the New Orleans airport, and massive traffic jams on the roads, people heeding warnings to get to higher ground. These live images you see here from the Lake Pontchartrain area. Residents boarding up, they're preparing. Forecasters saying the region could get up to 20 inches of rain in some areas. Ida now gaining strength in the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, expected to make a landfall as a Category 4 tomorrow, bringing a dangerous storm surge, flooding rain, and powerful winds.
Japan is investigating the death of 2 men who had received jabs from batches of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine suspended from use due to contamination, according to the Health Ministry today. The men aged 30 and 38 died earlier this month after getting their second Moderna doses from one of 3 manufacturing lots suspended by the government on Thursday after several vials were found to be contaminated, according to the ministry in a statement. The ministry said the cause of death was still being investigated and currently causal relations with the vaccinations are unknown. Both men contracted fever after receiving their vaccinations and neither had underlying health conditions on allergic history, according to the ministry.
In the Libyan capital Tripoli, a rush to stock up on petrol. Blackouts have got worse in recent months, and residents are using generators to power their homes and businesses. On most days, Tripoli can experience power cuts lasting up to 12 hours a day. Households without generators must have dinner or get kids to write their homework on candlelight. The state power utility is only able to generate 5,000 out of 7,000 megawatts needed daily, citing aging infrastructure and wall damage.
The death toll from explosions at an arms depot in southern Kazakhstan climbed to 13, authorities in the ex-Soviet country said Saturday, adding that 3 people were still missing. Take a look. The blasts occurred at a Defense Ministry ammunitions depot in the southern Jambil region, leaving dozens injured and forcing the evacuation of more than 1,000 people from nearby villages. The Central Asian country's emergencies ministry said Saturday a 13th body was recovered at the site but had not been identified. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev announced that Sunday would be a day of national mourning for the military personnel and rescuers who died at the scene of that disaster.
Chad's former president, Hissène Habré, has died aged 79 after testing positive for COVID-19. He was serving a life sentence in Senegal for war crimes, crimes against humanity and torture. Under his rule, Habré enforced a brutal crackdown on dissent, where tens of thousands of people were killed.
Africa's Pinochet, Hissène Habré earned his nickname as he ruled Chad with an iron fist for 8 years in the 1980s. Cunning and charismatic, Chad's former dictator seized power in a CIA-backed coup in 1982. His paranoid and brutal regime was supported by France and the United States and based on ruthless repression. His secret police killed as many as 40,000 Chadians and kidnapped, tortured, or raped 200,000 more. Habré was overthrown by rebels in 1990 and fled to Senegal.